Welcome to Daily News in AI Agents, the place to get a quick roundup of the most exciting developments in AI agents every day. Subscribe to our LinkedIn newsletter today in the link below to stay activated.
One of the things that really jumped out at me from the decoder was the statistic that almost 1 in 4 U.S. workers are using generative AI weekly.
Really?
Yeah, often without any clear company policies.
Wow, so they're just kind of winging it.
Yeah, it really highlights just how rapidly AI is being adopted.
Right.
But also maybe some of the potential risks around this, right?
Yeah.
Data security, ethics, even legal liability. It's a little bit of a Wild West out there.
It really is a new frontier.
It is, it is.
So companies need to kind of get on board with this
Catch up, yeah.
and make some rules. What about the big players?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, OpenAI, Google, they seem to be going head to head.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time. This is like a heavyweight boxing match almost. OpenAI making ChatGPT Search free for everyone. That's a big move.
That is a big deal.
Adding maps and voice support sounds like they're going right for Google's core business, doesn't it?
I mean, how could it not be?
It's really interesting to watch this play out.
And how does Google respond to this?
Well, they're not taking it lying down, that's for sure.
Okay, so what are they doing?
So they've launched VO2, their new AI video generator, and it's supposed to be better than OpenAI's Sora Turbo. At least that's what they're claiming.
Of course, yeah.
We got to take that with a grain of salt,
A little bit, yeah.
Early days, right?
It's all very new.
It is. It is. I mean, claims of better, they're often pretty subjective, right? But they didn't stop there.
Okay, so what else did they do?
They also launched Whisk, which is an AI image tool that actually uses multiple images as input, which is a pretty novel approach.
Oh, that's interesting. So not just relying on a single image.
That's right. So, it's not a simple head-to-head battle here, right?
Okay, so there's more nuances here than one company just winning.
Oh, absolutely. It's far more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Each company's positioning itself long-term, the unique approaches they're taking, and how these strategies might shape the whole AI ecosystem. It's fascinating to watch.
Mm-hmm. This makes me think about that Decoder article about how the U.S. is planning new export rules for AI chips.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of gives companies like Google and Microsoft like a gatekeeper role.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge one.
That is a big deal.
Really raises some serious questions, right?
Yeah.
About who controls this tech, national security, global competition, the pace of AI innovation itself. It could really change things.
They're almost like the guardians of AI, deciding who can play, who's left out. It's pretty crazy.
It is. It's a lot of power, right?
Yeah.
And it's especially interesting, with the incoming Trump administration.
Oh, right. Yeah.
i.e. Spectrum actually dives into this, the potential changes.
Across different sectors.
Yeah, across several tech sectors. And the AI analysis is really interesting.
Okay, what do they say about that?
Well, you've got experts weighing in.
Okay.
Potential rollback of AI regulations, the push to use AI for national security, even concerns about limiting those powerful chips, access to those for Chinese companies, and the impact on research funding, a lot to consider.
So it's not just like corporate competition anymore. It's almost like government policies.
Oh, it's intertwined.
Geopolitical tensions, it's getting a bit heavy.
It's complex, right?
Yeah.
The development and deployment of AI, you can't separate it from politics, economics, national security. These things are all woven together.
Yeah.
So if you want to understand where AI is going, you got to look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely, the big picture. But I think in the midst of all of this, the drama, the high-stakes stuff, it's kind of easy to forget that AI is quietly changing, transforming a lot of industries.
Oh, absolutely. We get so focused on the big names, the headlines.
Right.
There's a whole universe of fascinating AI applications happening under the radar.
So what are some of the things you came across?
Well, Scientific American, for instance, they highlighted how AI is being used in conservation efforts.
Oh, that's interesting. So how are they using it?
They're using it to analyze these massive data sets.
Okay.
Tracking animal populations, pinpointing poaching hotspots, even predicting environmental changes. It's really a game changer for conservationists.
Yeah. So it's like giving them a new set of tools.
It is.
To be more efficient.
To be more effective, right.
Wow, using AI to protect endangered species. I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
What else?
VentureBeat had a great article about how AI is revolutionizing automation.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not just talking about, like, scheduling appointments. We're talking about complex processes here.
Okay.
Data analysis, decision-making, problem-solving. AI is stepping up.
So it's becoming more of a collaborator than just an assistant.
That's the idea. It's a collaborator, maybe even a leader in some instances. It's pretty radical.
Okay, that's mind-blowing. So it's reshaping the way we work.
It's got the potential, for sure. And it's not just automating the jobs we have, it's creating entirely new roles, ones we can't even imagine yet.
So exciting time.
Exciting, challenging, yeah, all of that.
Okay, so AI, changing the game for conservation automation. Were there any other kind of unexpected areas that stood out to you?
Well, inside AI, they had this article about the construction industry. They're using AI to solve a really big problem they've had for a long time: fragmented data.
Fragmented data. What does that even mean in, like, construction?
Well, think about it. You got all these different players, right? Architects, engineers, contractors, suppliers, everybody's generating their own data, different formats, different systems. It's a mess.
So it's a logistical nightmare,
That's putting it mildly, yeah.
trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, and that's where AI steps in. So it integrates the data from all these different sources, uses AI to analyze it.
Right?
Companies can identify patterns, make better choices, improve efficiency, cut down on costs.
So AI is like the ultimate project manager, almost.
You could say that. Streamlining things, optimizing resources, improving communication. It's pretty remarkable.
It seems like there's no end to what AI can do.
It's pretty amazing. Every time you think you've got a handle on it, it surprises you.
Speaking of surprises, I actually came across a couple of news items that I thought you might find interesting.
Yeah.
And actually, it directly affects you, our listener.
Oh, interesting.
So Data Economy had a piece about Gmail accounts.
Hmm.
Heads up, your account could disappear by 2025
Yeah.
if it's inactive. So if you got an old account just gathering dust, you might want to do something about it.
Good reminder. Good reminder. Easy to forget about those old accounts.
And on a lighter note,
Okay.
Data Economy also reported that AirTag 2 is coming out next year. Triple the tracking range.
Wow.
No more losing your keys.
That's a good one. Good one. For those of us who are prone to losing things.
All right, so we covered a lot of
A
ground.
lot of territory.
We talked about, this big competition between OpenAI and Google, the way AI is changing things like conservation and construction. I mean, it's clear that AI is not some, like, far-off thing anymore. It's here.
It's happening now.
It's shaping our world right now.
Uh-huh.
What really stood out to you from all of this news?
What strikes me is just the sheer breadth of its impact. It's not just about automating tasks or building cool gadgets. It's about reshaping industries, global power dynamics.
The big stuff.
The big stuff, yeah. And ultimately, I think it changes the way we live,
Right.
work, and even interact with the world around us.
It's not just a technological issue. It's like a societal issue.
Absolutely. And as AI keeps evolving faster and faster, it's more important than ever that we engage in these conversations.
We'll have these discussions.
Thoughtful, informed discussions about where it's going and what it means for humanity.
We got to ask the tough questions.
We do.
Challenge assumptions, demand transparency, accountability from those shaping it all.
It's a shared responsibility.
It is.
Requires collaboration, critical thinking, and commitment to using this incredible power for good.
Powerful stuff. So speaking of AI's influence, let's talk about one area that's particularly relevant and kind of thought-provoking. AI in warfare.
Yeah, okay.
You included a podcast episode from Data Science at Home that really dives into this.
Yeah, it's a sobering topic for sure.
What were your initial thoughts?
Well, they talk about how AI is revolutionizing warfare.
Right.
Autonomous drones, advanced surveillance, AI-powered decision-making tools. It's getting real.
It is. It's almost like science fiction becoming reality.
It is, and it's fascinating, but it's also pretty unsettling, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea of machines making life or death decisions on the battlefield, it raises some profound questions, ethical questions, strategic questions.
Yeah. I mean, are we ready for that?
I don't know. I don't know if we are. And the episode really digs into these concerns, right?
Mm-hmm.
The potential for unintended consequences, accidental escalation, civilian casualties, the need for some kind of international regulations, treaties, something to govern all of this.
Because it's uncharted territory?
It is. It is.
Nobody's really done this before.
No, and the stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So it's complex, no easy answers, but it's a conversation that we can't afford to ignore.
We can't just bury our heads in the sand?
No, no, we have to face this head on.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the role of regulation in AI more broadly.
Okay, yeah.
The IE Spectrum article, highlights concerns about these potential rollbacks of AI regulations under the new administration.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of talk about, potentially a less regulated AI landscape,
Okay.
especially in things like data privacy, algorithmic bias.
Right.
Some experts are really worried about this.
Why are they worried?
Well, less oversight, less accountability,
Mm-hmm.
increased risk of AI being used in harmful ways, discriminatory ways.
Right, so it's almost like the Wild West all over again?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. But on the other hand,
Okay, there's another side to this.
there's another perspective. Some experts think that this less regulated environment could actually be good for innovation,
Okay.
speed up the development of new technologies.
So less restrictions, more freedom to experiment.
Exactly, exactly. So it's a complicated issue, no easy answers here. But I think the important thing is that we have these discussions
Right.
openly and honestly about the benefits and the risks, Find that balance.
Yeah, the sweet spot.
The sweet spot that fosters innovation but protects people.
Okay, so foster innovation, but keep people safe.
That's the key.
That's the key, yeah. And this is where the whole idea of informed dialogue and collaboration comes into play.
Oh, absolutely.
Policymakers, industry leaders,
Yes.
ethicists, the public, we all need to be involved.
It's a team effort
It is.
if we're going to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
All right, well, let's move on to another exciting area, shall we?
Sure.
Large language models.
Tell him.
LLMs. Everyone's talking about them. These things are getting so sophisticated.
They really are. It's amazing. They can understand, generate human-like text. It's mind-boggling how fluent they are.
It's like having a digital brain that can process language at this level, something we thought was only humans could do.
Yeah, it's really blurring those lines. What's human? What's machine?
And as these models evolve, what kind of questions does that bring up?
Well, it brings up some really interesting questions about intelligence itself.
Okay.
Creativity, even consciousness. What does it mean to be intelligent?
Yeah, heavy stuff.
Yeah. It's deep, right? It's really pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible with AI.
It's mind-boggling, honestly, this whole field.
Yeah.
It's constantly pushing the boundaries. It makes you question everything you know.
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's constantly challenging us to rethink our assumptions about the relationship between humans and machines. Where does one end and the other begin? What does it even mean to be human in this age of intelligent machines? These are the questions we're grappling with.
Big questions.
Big questions, yeah. And they're not going away anytime soon.
No, they're just getting bigger.
Exactly, exactly. So buckle up, because the ride is just getting started. Picking up where we left off, AI reshaping the workplace, you included quite a bit about that. And it's not just about replacing jobs, is it?
No, definitely not. More about augmenting, human capabilities,
Yeah.
creating new opportunities. This article from VentureBeat about Slack's new AI agents, it really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
They're calling it Agent Force 2.0, and it sounds like they're trying to integrate AI directly into our communication tools.
Interesting. It is Slack's CPO, Rob Seaman. He really emphasizes the power of context,
Okay.
He believes that these AI agents are going to be able to understand not just the words we're saying, but the nuances,
Right.
the tasks we're working on, the goals of the team.
So instead of just like a chatbot, answering basic questions, scheduling meetings, these AI agents are going to be actively participating
Right.
in our work conversations, providing insights, maybe even suggesting solutions.
Like having an AI colleague
Yeah.
right there in the Slack channel.
It does sound amazing in theory, but I can't help but wonder, what about the downsides?
Sure.
What about data privacy? Could these AI agents introduce bias, into decision-making processes?
Yeah, those are valid concerns for sure. As we integrate AI into our workplaces, we have to address these issues head on.
We do.
Data handled responsibly, algorithms are fair, unbiased, and human oversight is still a critical part of the equation.
Yeah, it's all about finding the right balance, harnessing the power, but mitigating the risks.
Absolutely.
Speaking of harnessing power, let's talk about OpenAI.
Okay.
They're really on a mission to democratize access to their technology, and they seem to be making some big moves to achieve that.
They are big moves. OpenAI making ChatGPT Search free for everybody. That's huge.
It is.
They've added maps, voice support, making it much more user-friendly.
Accessible.
Accessible, yeah. And VentureBeat highlighted some of their other recent improvements: faster results, better voice queries, the integration of mobile maps.
So they're really going for it.
They are going for it. They want to make ChatGPT the go-to
Mm.
AI assistant for everybody, not just the techie people.
For the masses.
For the masses, exactly. And of
Perfect.
course, this puts pressure on the competition, right?
Oh, yeah, of course, especially Google.
Especially Google, yeah.
Right.
To keep up, to
People
innovate,
stay in the game.
stay in the game. And speaking of Google, they've just launched VO2,
Okay.
their new AI video generator,
Right.
claiming it's better than OpenAI's Sora Turbo. Of course they are. And they're also making waves with Whisk, their image tool that uses multiple images as input.
So it's getting very competitive.
It's heating up.
Both companies really pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's an exciting time to be following this, for sure. The pace of innovation is just incredible.
It's
It's amazing to see how each company is approaching the challenges, but,
Mm.
a- as always, we got to be careful about getting caught up in the hype.
Mhm.
Claims of better, often subjective,
Right.
based on benchmarks, look beyond the marketing, critically evaluate the capabilities and the limitations.
Don't get caught up in the hype.
Don't get swept away. It's about how these tools can be used effectively and responsibly, not just who wins the bragging rights.
Exactly. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about a new concept that's gaining traction, large concept models.
LCMs.
OCMs. This article from Mark Tech Post, it was pretty interesting.
It is an interesting one. LCMs represent a real shift in AI development.
How?
Instead of focusing on individual words or tokens, they operate at a higher level of abstraction,
Okay.
processing concepts, ideas.
So it's like teaching AI to think more like humans.
That's the idea, understanding the meaning, the context, rather than just the syntax.
Okay, so what are the implications of that?
Well, the potential is huge. More sophisticated chatbots, more nuanced virtual assistants, even better machine translation.
Wow.
It's another example of how AI is constantly evolving, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Yeah, and it shows that it's important to stay informed, critically evaluate these new developments as they come out.
Absolutely. Got to keep learning. Got to keep questioning.
Okay, so another exciting development, the DeepSeek-VL2 series of models, also from Mark Tech Post.
Yeah, these models are making waves in the field of vision language AI,
All right.
combining the power of large language models with advanced computer vision.
So they're connecting language with visual understanding.
They're capable of understanding and generating both text and images,
Wow.
bridging that gap between language and visual perception.
It's like giving AI the ability to see the world in a more holistic way.
Exactly. They can analyze images, describe them in natural language, answer questions about them, even generate new images based on prompts.
So what kind of applications are we talking about here?
Oh, this opens up a whole new world: image captioning, visual question, answering, optical character recognition, multimodal content analysis.
It's amazing.
It really is. It's another example of AI pushing the boundaries, blurring the lines between human perception and machine understanding.
And as these models continue to evolve,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see even more groundbreaking applications.
Absolutely transforming how we interact with the world around us.
Speaking of transforming how we interact with the world, let's talk about the use of AI in conservation.
Yes.
The Scientific American article you shared is pretty cool. It really shows how AI is becoming like an essential tool for conservationists.
It's inspiring to see it being used to protect our planet. Researchers are using machine learning to analyze huge amounts of data tracking animal movements, identifying poaching hotspots, and even predicting environmental changes.
It's like giving conservationists a superpower,
It is.
allowing them to see the natural world with this incredible clarity.
And make better decisions about conservation efforts.
So AI is helping to shift conservation from being reactive to being proactive.
Exactly. Anticipating and mitigating threats before it's too late.
This is really a great example of how AI can be used for good.
It is.
Addressing some of the biggest challenges
Absolutely.
facing humanity.
And it highlights the importance of collaboration, technologists, scientists, conservationists all working together to create a more sustainable future.
Okay, so let's move on to another area where AI is having a huge impact: automation.
Mm-hmm.
The VentureBeat article about AI agents revolutionizing automation.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, AI agents, they're becoming so sophisticated,
Yeah.
they can handle much more complex tasks than traditional automation. They can learn, adapt, even collaborate with each other, freeing up humans to focus on more creative, strategic work.
It's like having this team of tireless, super efficient assistants.
Right there with you.
working alongside you,
Yeah.
automating tasks, providing insights, even suggesting solutions.
It's a game changer,
Yeah,
unlocking incredible efficiencies across all sorts of industries.
and it's not just about efficiency.
Right.
There's this growing trend of using AI agents to augment human capabilities,
Mm.
helping us make better decisions, solve problems, even enhance creativity.
It's fascinating how the relationship between humans and machines is evolving.
Yeah,
AI is no longer just a replacement.
right.
It's a tool to enhance and expand human potential.
Okay, and that's, I think, a really powerful concept and one that I believe has this incredible potential to unlock all sorts of possibilities for human progress.
I agree, but we need to approach this evolution with some caution,
Okay.
thoughtful consideration. As AI agents become more sophisticated, more autonomous, we need to make sure that they're aligned with human values and goals and that they're used ethically and responsibly.
Yeah, we got to make sure we're staying in control,
We do.
right? And that they're serving us, not the other way around.
Exactly. We have to address these issues proactively, ensuring that AI is developed and deployed in a way that benefits all of society.
Benefits all of society.
Yeah.
Speaking of broader societal implications,
Yeah.
let's talk about decentralized AI.
Decentralized AI. Okay.
This AI news article is really interesting.
It is decentralized AI. It's an emerging trend,
Mm-hmm.
and it aims to distribute the power and control over AI systems,
Okay.
moving away from that centralized model that we've been seeing.
Right. So instead of relying on a few big corporations or governments to develop and control AI,
Mm-hmm.
decentralized AI is about empowering individuals and communities
That's right.
to participate in the development and the governance of these systems.
It's a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
It could lead to more innovation, more transparency, more accountability.
So what are the arguments for decentralized AI?
Well, proponents argue that it can help mitigate the risks of bias, discrimination, misuse
Right.
that are often associated with these centralized AI systems.
When you have too much power concentrated in the hands of a few,
Exactly.
things can go wrong.
They can go wrong.
Okay.
By distributing the power and control, we can create a more equitable and inclusive AI ecosystem
Okay.
that benefits everybody, not just a select few.
So a more democratic approach to AI.
Yeah, and it aligns with values of openness, fairness, and, democratic participation.
Absolutely. Those are the values that we need to be promoting in this space.
Absolutely. So while we're on the topic of decentralized AI, there was another news item from AI News that caught my eye.
Okay.
A new tool from Clarify that promises to help enterprises orchestrate AI workloads across any infrastructure.
Clarify, they're known for their image recognition and computer vision capabilities, and their new compute orchestration tool. It's designed to give enterprises more control over their AI workloads.
Regardless of the underlying infrastructure.
So it's like a universal remote control for your AI.
You could say that.
You can manage and deploy models across different cloud providers, on-premise servers, even edge devices.
It's about flexibility.
Yeah.
Avoiding vendor lock-in, optimizing costs, and tailoring the AI infrastructure to your specific needs.
So it's adapting to the demands.
Adapting to the demands of this rapidly changing world.
Speaking of rapid evolution, you included an article from VentureBeat about the latest updates from Midjourney.
Midjourney, okay.
The AI art generator, they're constantly pushing the boundaries, aren't they?
They are. They're constantly pushing the creative envelope.
I was really intrigued by the addition of Pinterest-like mood boards
Mood boards.
and support for multiple custom AI image models. It's like they're giving users a whole new set of tools.
It's about empowering creativity, right?
Yeah.
Mood boards allow users to create these curated collections of images as inspiration for their artwork. It's like visual brainstorming with AI exploring themes, styles, aesthetics.
And the support for multiple custom AI image models gives users even more control.
More control, more options.
They can choose from a variety of models, each with its own unique style and capabilities.
To really match their artistic vision,
Yeah.
it's an exciting development democratizing AI art generation,
It really is.
empowering anyone to create stunning artwork with the help of AI.
It's incredible.
It's another example of AI blurring the lines between human creativity and machine intelligence,
Right.
opening up new avenues for artistic expression.
And it's a reminder that the AI revolution is not just about, efficiency and productivity.
No, it's not.
It's about expanding the boundaries of human imagination.
And creativity.
Okay, so let's talk about a topic that's particularly relevant right now. The potential changes in the AI landscape under the new administration.
Okay, the incoming Trump administration?
Yes, the IE Spectrum article provides some really interesting insights.
It does. We see a range of perspectives from experts,
Okay.
highlighting both potential opportunities and concerns.
So there's this discussion about the potential for a rollback of AI regulations,
Mhm.
especially in areas like data privacy, algorithmic bias.
Yeah, and some experts are worried that this could lead to less oversight, less accountability,
Right.
potentially increasing the risks of AI being used in harmful or discriminatory ways.
So less regulation could be a double-edged sword.
It could be, but on the other hand,
Oh,
some experts believe that a less regulated environment could actually foster more innovation
right.
and accelerate the development of new AI technologies.
It's a trade-off
It's a trade-off.
between, safety and progress.
Yeah, between safety and progress. And it's a complex issue with no easy answers.
It is.
We need to have these discussions openly and honestly, talk about the potential benefits and the risks of different approaches,
Right.
find that balance, foster innovation, but protect the public interest.
Yeah. So it's all about finding that sweet spot.
Finding that sweet spot.
And this is where the importance of informed dialogue and collaboration comes in. Policymakers, industry leaders, ethicists, the public,
We all need to be at the table.
we all need to be involved in shaping this.
We do. The choices we make today will have a huge impact on the AI landscape for years to come.
They will.
This is a defining moment, and we need to be thoughtful about the path we choose.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in part 2 of our deep dive.
We have a lot of territory.
We've explored, the evolving landscape of AI, workplace automation, creative tools,
Yeah.
government policies, decentralized AI. It's a lot to process.
It is a lot to process, but it's clear that AI is no longer just a concept.
No.
It's a force that's shaping our world.
And as we move forward into this AI-powered future, it's so important that we stay informed, engaged, and critically aware.
We need to keep learning.
We need to keep learning, and we need to keep asking those tough questions.
We do demanding transparency and accountability from those who are developing and deploying these systems, advocating for ethical guidelines and regulatory frameworks
Right.
to make sure AI is used for the benefit of humanity.
Well said. Well, stay tuned for part 3,
Yes.
where we'll wrap up our deep dive with some final thoughts and takeaways.
Looking forward to it.
All right, final stretch, last leg of our AI news marathon, huh?
Feels like we've been through a lot, right?
Corporate battles, ethical dilemmas, the everyday stuff, the mind-blowing. AI world's a whirlwind.
Nonstop, always something new popping up.
So as we wrap up, what are your big takeaways from all this? What connects these stories?
I think what's really clear is AI isn't some niche thing anymore. It's everywhere.
Woven into our lives.
Exactly. Work, leisure, safety, even global power dynamics. It's reshaping the whole playing field.
And it's not just taking over jobs, right? It's more like,
Augmenting us, I'd say. Pushing the limits of what we can do creatively, problem solving, climate change, protecting endangered species. It's all on the table.
we saw AI making art, music, writing code, even designing buildings, diagnosing diseases,
And we're just getting started.
which is exciting, but also kind of scary, no?
It is two sides of the same coin. Endless possibilities, but the potential risks, they're huge.
Which is why we got to be smart about this, right?
Yeah.
Can't just blindly embrace it.
Absolutely. Critical thinking is key. Asking the tough questions. Ethics, bias, impact on society,
Yeah.
those can't be afterthoughts.
We got to hold those developing AI accountable, demand transparency. We can't just sit back and let it happen to us. We shape this future.
Couldn't agree more. It's not some predetermined path. Every choice we make, every policy, every conversation, it's all building towards something.
So what questions should we be asking ourselves going forward?
Well, who's benefiting from this? Who's getting left out? How do we make sure everyone has access to the good stuff, not just a select few?
And how do we prevent it being used for bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
Surveillance, discrimination, those AI weapons we talked about.
Those are the big ones, and the answers, they're not simple. But that's why these conversations are so important. Challenging what we think we know, digging deeper.
Finding that balance, innovation, human values, progress without putting ourselves at risk. It's a tough puzzle.
It is, and we need all hands on deck to solve it. Not just tech people, but policymakers, ethicists, everyday folks. Everyone's got a stake in this.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this AI deep dive. It's been quite a journey. Hopefully our listeners are walking away with a lot to think about.
It's been my pleasure. Keep those questions coming, folks. This is a conversation that needs to keep going. The future of AI depends on it.